Welcome everybody to yet another coffee time with Hako, the show where I have my morning coffee and then I puff into the void. Well met peeps, today latte in the Ellen mug wearing an Ellen tank top. So let's talk about the other ice carry that we're getting into the game. In this coffee time, number 80 something, we are going to be talking about Yidhari. Now I'm at the point where I played Yidhari for 24 hours on the creator server and I'm starting to get, a little bit of a hang of her. And if you're new to the channel, this is how I do it. Once I play the character for 24-ish hours on the creator server, I give you my first initial impressions and opinions on that character. We're still under NDA, which usually lifts like the Friday before a character comes out, so I can't show you footage, but I can talk about my experience. Although important to note is that my opinion of the character has been built upon my experience with them on the creator server, so changes might apply before they hit live. Alright, let's do it. So Yidhari is the new Ice Rupture character coming to the game in the later part of the 2.3. She is originally the hot nun lady that we saw in the early beta footage that then had a name change and also became half an octopus. And Yidhari has been one of my most anticipated characters ever since the launch of the game. So now that she's finally here, what do I think? Let's do this step by step. Now, strength-wise, I would say that she is very, very strong with my current skill and knowledge of playing her, and I feel like, there's still a lot more potential to be uncovered there. Now, since she's a new ice carry, a lot of people are going to be asking, is she stronger than Miyabi? And I would say to this, it depends. If it's an anomaly boss, Miyabi probably has her beat, but if it is an attacker or rupture shield boss, I would say that Yidhari has her beat. So right now, if I were to put her strength on a scale from 1 to 10, I'm willing to put it at a 7.5. She's very strong, but as many other rupture agents, she's kind of dependent on your account having other supporting costs that works together with rupture agents. Now, rupture agents, they are hella strong, but they are kind of limited in the characters that they can have supporting them. We recently gotten Lucia, and as of right now, the strongest team for Yidhari that I found is, to no surprise, Lucia, and in most cases, Yufufu. But if you have the puzzle pieces required, and the bigger puzzle piece being Lucia, Yidhari is hella strong. And now important to point out is that Yidhari, kind of same as Manatu, are both lacking really good disc sets that really synergize with them. Yunku Tales 4-piece is the best one. Now, Yunku Tales is a good rupture set, although it was very clearly constructed with Yishuan in mind. Because if your agent's name is not Yishuan, keeping the 4-piece set stacked up is kind of a hard ask, at least if we're talking about a decent uptime all throughout the fight. And now I don't have any inside information, but if I was a betting man, I would guess that Ban Yue, which is the fire rupture agent coming in 2.4, that his signature disc set is probably gonna be, or hopefully gonna be, pretty good on Yidhari and Manatu as well. So for strength, 7.5. Let's talk something that I consider more important. Let's talk fun. The best way to have fun in these games? It's to pull for fun characters that you enjoy playing. So, what is my fun rating of Yidhari? Now, I have my favorite agents to play in the game. I have my 10 out of 10s, I have my 5 out of 10s, and just for reference, I would consider, say, Evelyn, where's she at? Evelyn and Ellen to be maybe my only 10 out of 10s in the game. Alice, another character I enjoy a lot, I might put at a 9 out of 10. What would I put on Yidhari? For Yidhari, I'm giving her a fun rating of 7 out of 10. Not mind-blowingly amazing, but absolutely not boring either. And for me, a lot of the enjoyment of playing Yidhari is timing stuff right. So a lot of it is you holding down the basic attacks, you charge up your hammer, and then timing hits from the enemy, with your special attack while you're charging or while you're spinning. Now, I'm kind of a sucker when it comes to having to time parries and counterattacks and attackers, so that part of the playstyle really speaks to me. But I think I've come to terms with Zenless that I like my characters really kind of fast, and I don't want to feel like they're sluggish. And I would say that Yidhari might be slightly more sluggish than I was hoping. And while that is no means a deal breaker, like it's not I'm gonna skip her because I'm not enjoying her, because mind you, 7 out of 10 is very, very good. I think I was hoping that, like, you know, she might become another 9 out of 10 for me. And maybe once I get fully accustomed to her and like play her even more, maybe that will happen. But as of right now, as of 24 hours each of playing her, 7 out of 10, like a great character that I'm hoping I'll bump up to amazing once I really get accustomed to her. And just for another reference point, I'd say like more fun than Seed by a bit, but less fun than Yishuan. So we're done strength, we're done fun. Should we do initial pull value impressions? So on a scale of 1 to 10, like how important do I think Yidhari is gonna be for your account, and like should you pull her? And this is mostly gonna be like speaking from a meta perspective. And what is Yidhari? She is an ice carry. Now ice is still a very like scarcely populated element, and all of the carries for it are limited characters, and 2 of them are limited characters that maybe not too many people would consider like getting on the rerun. And ice is also blessed, more or so cursed perhaps, with having Miyabi on the roster. Now, most people on Miyabi's banner, they pull from Miyabi, whether it was her first banner or her rerun banner. I think the majority of the accounts have a Miyabi, and Miyabi is incredibly strong, which has also seen a push from the devs to make sure that like Ice has been a very weak pick for most new content that we've seen for the last 8 months. And what we are seeing now that Ice bosses are making a comeback is that they have like several layers of de-incentivizing for Miyabi. Now, a Miyabi played right can, you know, brute force this anyway, but I do think that there is some value of having like a second ice carry that isn't Miyabi. So I think that there is some value in her element, which is ice, and I also think that there is a lot of value in her being a rupture agent. Now, rupture agents, they are kinda like, you know, good attacker agents. Attacker agents have it rough. Rupture agents are basically attacker agents with just 100% pen ratio. So, which means that they can super easily clear attacker content and rupture content. Meanwhile, attacker agents, you know, they do good against attacker content. So, Yidhari being a carry of this, like the second strongest specialty, which is rupture, I put anomaly as the strongest one, and then attacker at the bottom, sadly, also adds some value. So, with some reasoning behind it, my pull rating for Yidhari is gonna be a 7 out of 10. I know we're playing it a little bit boring now because we ended up on 7.5, 7, and now 7 again, which is, you know, playing it very, very safe. But I also think that that is the excellent summing up of my, like, experience with Yidhari as right now. She is an absolutely great character. She doesn't break into amazing and meta-defining, but she is not a bad unit. I think she's a very solid pick if you want to pick her up for, you know, her design, which I couldn't fault you for. It's Octomommy. But I also think that if you're not a big fan of her as a character or her design, and you don't really want to pull for her, you know, don't. I think you'll be super fine not pulling for Yidhari. I don't think at the end of the day she's gonna be like a high, like meta-defining unit. She's gonna be a solid option, a solid pick. And from a meta standpoint, I could see that there's more important units coming up, maybe in 2.4, maybe especially in the 2.5. But at the end of the day, I think that the Octomommy fan club is gonna be pleased, and I do think that it cooked kinda hard with a lot of her animations and like design-wise. So everybody, let me know down below, are you excited about Octomommy? Let me know your thoughts. And as always, have a big hug, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time, Hako out.
Oh, I wish that you could just take it easy. Lay back, fast the way I roll. So get off my tail, or else you will get to say hello to my jolly show.